Hello, everyone. Obviously, Bitcoin crossed 20K today, and all bets are now off the table. You know, all those predictions people were making, and a lot of the predictions I was making, they're all kind of invalid right now because most of my predictions, well, almost all of them in the last month or so, I've always preconditioned that Bitcoin stays below 20K. Like Bitcoin would stay between 18, somewhere in the 18,000s or 19,000s. That's what I was basing my predictions on. Now that Bitcoin has crossed 20,000, all bets are definitely off the table, and things could actually get interesting anytime. Now, right now, what you want your coin to do is release as much news as possible. Like before this, the news didn't matter, but I think after this, news will start piling up, and then people will really start buying these coins based on FOMO. Like right now, could be like the start of the FOMO period. Right now, we're at like 21,600, as you can see right there. But I mean, like, I don't think there are any resistances after 20,000. I think Bitcoin is going to be in price discovery mode. Now, of course, we could go back below 20,000 and then flip back up, and that might take a couple of days. But I think since we broke it the first time, the next time we try to break it, it's going to be much, much easier. And eventually it'll stay above 20,000 all the time. This time is a little bit different from the other times. This time has a lot of institutional buying for Bitcoin and maybe for Ethereum too. If you actually look at Grayscale's investments, you can see they're about 8 billion Bitcoin, 1 billion Ethereum, and the rest is just peanuts. And from the other institutions that have come out, they're all pretty much buying Bitcoin. So it may not flow as quickly from Bitcoin to the other alts. It will pull all the alts up. And once some of the smaller alts start increasing, they'll really, really start increasing. And it'll be very, very quick. But here's the thing, right now it might be delayed for a couple of weeks or a couple of months before the small alts can actually come up. What I do believe will happen is Bitcoin will go up first. After it reaches a certain point, I think the bigger alts will follow first, and then like the smaller alts will actually follow. Like top 10, 15 alts will follow Bitcoin first, and then like the smaller alts that actually have news, that actually have partnerships, will actually pump. Now, when those smaller alts pump, they'll actually pump the hardest out of all of them. But should go up first, and then the bigger alts, and then the smaller alts. Some of the bigger alts might get some institutional investment, but the smaller alts will probably have to depend on retail. Now, there are ones like VeChain which has like Briar Capital investment and like maybe one or two institutions, but it's nothing compared to the money that Bitcoin and Ethereum actually have. So that's why those two will probably be like wouldn't be my first targets, and then I would switch out from those two into the bigger alts, like other top 15 alts, and then switch from those alts into smaller alts. Of course, I'm not really like selling my VeChain and ICX or anything, but if I had free money, that's probably what I would actually do. I'm still looking up to up my ICX bag because I think that's guaranteed adoption from Korea, and I know there's going to be more news coming. You really want your coins to actually release as much news as possible right now, since Bitcoin is past 20,000, because that, like, any news could actually trigger a FOMO, and any FOMO will be really, really big right now. So like if VeChain announced their massive North American partnership that people have been talking about, that would actually, I think, make them pump a lot more than before 20,000. If Cardano like released Goguen, I think that would pump them way more than before 20,000. If ICX announced like huge Korean use, I believe they would pump a lot, especially at Upbit. So kind of like things are actually off the table now, and these coins could actually go parabolic at any time. Because remember, Bitcoin's broken its all-time high, but the altcoins are nowhere near their all-time high. Even Ethereum is like about half of its all-time high, whereas Bitcoin's like past its all-time high. XRP is at 1/6 of its all-time high, even at 1/7, like so between 1/6 and 1/7 of its all-time high. VET is like 25% of its all-time. Well, I mean, about 20% of its all-time high. Cardano is like, maybe 13, 14% of its all-time high as well. So there's a lot of room to actually grow for these alts. And since Bitcoin's ruptured its all-time high, I do believe that the altcoins should go above their all-time high. But you don't really know what time it's going to burst. You don't really want to look at TA for that at this point, because any amount of news, since Bitcoin's actually hit that trigger point, any amount of news could actually trigger a bull run, and you don't really want to miss out. So you don't really want to sell any of the coins you have. But if you have free money, I would actually buy Bitcoin or Ethereum first, wait for those to go up, sell those, maybe buy some of the bigger alts, and then sell those, buy some of the smaller alts, do like the 3-step process. And I do think you'll probably do pretty well. At least you'll make a lot of money. Now, for the really small alts, for like the smaller alts under 50, it's not a guarantee that all of them will pump. You're going to have to do your research, and you're going to have to like figure out like the ones that actually have a lot of news. Those that have a lot of news and FOMO, and those that have small supplies that have news and FOMO, will actually come up the most. So that's kind of like the strategy right now. Definitely wouldn't sell out of crypto. Definitely wouldn't sell out of any of the altcoins you believe in, because they can actually go parabolic at any time. Like all of my predictions, like VeChain not reaching 2 cents, XRP not reaching $1 or 70 cents or 80 cents or whatever, and like a Cardano not being able to go past 25. That was all predicated on Bitcoin not breaking 20K. Now, since the Bitcoin's breaking 20K, all those bets are off and all those pre-predictions are pretty useless. TA isn't, I don't think, is going to help you too much on altcoins. It's just like when all these altcoins give that bit of news that really triggers an alt run. So that is the news for today. Let me know what you think, like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.